Hey, good evening, my friends. How are you? Welcome to another edition of Wednesday Night Live right here on Mike Avery Outdoors on the Facebook page, on the YouTube channel, and on Twitter as well. My name is Mike Avery. This is something I do every Wednesday night. Well, almost every Wednesday night, as a way for you and I to interact a little bit more. Good evening, John. How are you? Nice to have you along with us. You're always with us, John. I do certainly appreciate that. How are things at school? I know you're getting ready to wrap up here. John is part of the CMU bass fishing team. Hello, Brent, my friend. You don't have to call me sir, just call me friend. Craig calls me Captain Mike. Hey, Craig, tonight we're going to answer your Ask Avery segment here on the air. Dave Mason's with us. Mike Kelly is with us. And we usually get a pretty good crowd. As we get closer to summertime, some people call me Captain. Randy calls me Mikey. Captain. Jim checking in from Tennessee. How are things in Tennessee? It's a little chilly here tonight. Mike, my friend, how are you? Where'd you go, Mike? I saw you on here. Avery's with us there. Where did he go? Mike was with us. There we go. I don't want to ignore you, Mike. How are you? Nice to have you along with us. Matt is with us. Jim is with us. Josh is with us. Linda's with us. Glad to see you. Ready to get the snow shovel out? Linda, Nick Grillo of Michigan Brand Meats and I are fishing the Detroit River tomorrow. I think it's going to be miserable. Of all the days, and I picked this day about a month ago, of all the days to pick, we had to pick this one. Yep, indeed. Big Mike. Even with the weight loss, I will always be Big Mike. The North is checking in. Rob checking in from White River. What a difference a week makes. 80s last Wednesday, 50s this week. Yeah, it's going to be tough. Matt, good luck on your recovery, buddy. Kidney transplant? What was it? I mean, a big surgery. Ed Bolanowski checking in from Speedy Blaze. We're going to give away some Speedy Blaze later tonight. We're also going to talk about a new product from my friend at Michigan Brand Meats. I was eating this morning on the air, and my mouth started to water so bad I couldn't talk. So I'm not going to eat any tonight, but we're going to talk about it and how you can get a discount. David's checking in. Linda, this is true. Linda says, sometimes the best fishing is in the worst weather. I hope so. If we're going to be out there and freeze our butts off, I'd at least like to get some fish. Ruben checking in from Colorado. How are you, Jason? Kayak fishing in Brighton today. Martin says, woohoo. Ross, my day was wonderful, my friend. How was yours? I did a live show from the studio this morning. I did a 3-hour radio show. I did a Killer Food Plots podcast. I did a Jay Sporting Goods podcast, and now this Wednesday Night Live. Scott checking in from Livonia. How are things downstate, Scott? I will be down there tomorrow. Well, down to Livonia and past. As we, I got to be honest with you. Jared. I am not ready for Saturday morning's turkey opener. I'm not even going to lie about it. I'm not prepared this year. I'm just not. And I think part of it is the fact that I don't have any birds. I'm not finding birds. I don't have birds on my property. And I think that, it shouldn't diminish my enthusiasm, but I got to be honest, it has. I'll be out there. Don Krzyzak, how are things at Krzyzak's restaurant? Eric, good evening. How are you? By the way, my name is Mike Avery. This is Wednesday Night Live. It's something we do every Wednesday night. Jerry's on board with us. Paul acquired some nice hunting land near Blaney Park, Dead Bears Upper and Lower. Congrats, Paul. Tim, good evening. How are you? I bet you Jen's right there by your side. So a few things I want to talk. Good evening, Robert. How are you? A few things I want to talk about tonight, other than the new honey barbecue hunter sticks from Michigan Brand Meats. And Nick Grillo of Michigan Brand is who I will be fishing with tomorrow, along with Lance Valentine of Walleye 101. How cool is that? I tell you what, you're way ahead of me, Dave. He's going to set up his blind tomorrow. I probably will not set mine up until Friday afternoon, maybe Saturday morning. I'm doing great, Richard. How are you? Yes, indeed. A long-range box call will bring the turkeys in from a mile away. And Craig says this because he knows I found some birds about a mile from where I'm hunting. And I'm pretty sure it's the birds that were on the property. They were roosting at the back of the property last year and for several years. And this year, they're not. Hey, Mike, Paul said you were in on that property. I'm not. I don't make enough money to buy hunting property. I am at the mercy of my friends. I am at the mercy of my friends like Paul Jenkins and Johnny Bowler and Doug Cook and Scott Gatza. I'm at the mercy of my friends because I don't have my own hunting property. And never will. It's not on my list. Mad Jack says he's watching from YouTube. Good evening, Mike. Watching on YouTube, having the same trouble with the birds. So what's going on, Mad Jack? I've had conversations with a lot of people across Michigan in the last week or so. And I'm hearing the same thing from a lot of people, that they're not seeing birds, not seeing the number of birds. Now, I know there are pockets across the state that are flush with birds, no pun intended. Johnny says, reread that. Oh, reread that. Says, we are in on that property. That makes a lot more sense. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Johnny. Thank you, Johnny, for making me reread that. Excellent. Gotcha. Brian says Detroit was slow last Thursday. It's a grind to get the fish. Don't get caught crossing the border. Not going to cross the border. And Brad Dupuis was down there Friday, and they caught one fish. A new angler quest is on my list. I talked to Brad Dupuis today. Again, the boat is ready. The motor is hung, and they're just waiting for the Garmin electronics. David says no birds there. Hello, Julie. How are you tonight? Nice to have you along with us on this edition of Wednesday Night Live. Hey, speaking of angler quest, that's Jared, I appreciate it. So if you need a spot to turkey hunt, I'm in Lenawee County. We have plenty of birds to choose from. I appreciate that. Oh, way to go, Rick. Rub it in. 2 strutters and a hen in the field behind the house as we're talking right now. Thanks for rubbing that in. Speaking of angler quest, I want to show you something. Let's see if I can. Angler Quest pontoons are built with purpose. Like they're on a mission of sorts. There it is. What's your mission? Getting out there first for walleye or salmon. Maybe it's getting off the water fast when it's time to head home and you're late for dinner. The point is, whether you're into trolling or comfort or quality time on the water with more space than you've ever imagined, when you own an Angler Quest, mission accomplished. Do you recognize that voice? Mike says he recognized the voice right away. Dave says the birds are on lockdown. Anthony says he got 8 fish today. I'd take 8 fish. Martin says he saw it on Instagram earlier. That guy has a great voiceover voice. I don't know about that. But I'll tell you what, I am so honored to be working with Michigan-based family-owned Angler Quest, and that they asked me to do the podcasts for them. They asked me, obviously, to do the radio spots. And they asked me to voice their TV spots. To me, that's an honor. Really, I mean, it's an honor. Austin says, hey, Mike, I miss seeing you on TV. I try to catch you on here when I can. Austin, I appreciate that. I don't miss TV, but I appreciate you saying that. Tim says, how far do you think turkeys will travel in a day? I was talking with Jeff Poet of Jay's Sporting Goods, who has the World Slam for turkeys. He shot one of every type of turkey in the world. I asked him that very question, and he said a long ways. He didn't give me a distance, but he said a long ways. Bill Hoffman says, I watch your TV show every week. I bet you do. And I bet you listen to my podcast on your local radio station too, don't you, Bill? Inside jokes. PBS asked the DNR fisheries guy answered question about increasing rod limit for charter boats on Great Lakes, says there's a bit of talk in Lansing, but not going anywhere yet. Okay, here's the deal on that. Jason, thank you for bringing it up. It's going to happen. Mark my words, it's going to happen. But it's not going to happen right now. And I'll tell you why. And let me go to the rundown on my cigar-stained fingers. And I'm going to answer your question, Jason. On this week's show, first, Nick Grillo of Michigan Brand Meats talks about their new honey barbecue hunter sticks and a way that you can buy them online now. Use my promo code and save 25%. I'm going to get to that in a minute. Then Tom Andrus of the Great Lakes Salmon Initiative wraps up that first hour. We talk about this. You know, I brought up the concept of there is absolutely no legitimate biological reason to have a limit on the number of rods a Great Lakes trolling angler can use because the resource is protected by the daily creel limit and the size limit. So I've been saying that forever. Now I've got some backup. I took this to MUCC 2 years ago and I got shot down. I got shot down because I wasn't as prepared as I should have been, and I didn't realize how the whole process worked. I'm confident if I would bring it back to MUCC again, I would have a better chance. However, we're going to do it different this way. The folks from the Great Lakes Salmon Initiative have jumped on board with this, and they are calling in support from other sportsmen's groups across the state. So they are a better group to spearhead this than I am. They have more clout. I will back them and I will push for it. But here's the deal. What they want to do, and I like this, eventually they agree we should eliminate the number of rods for trolling anglers. But what they're proposing in the meantime, Beener, how are you? What they're proposing in the meantime is that an angler can buy an additional rod stamp for $26, and that will allow you to run an additional 3 rods. Therefore, you will, as an individual angler, be allowed to run 6 rods. The reason they're doing it this way in baby steps is baby steps, so they can get it in. And if the folks in Lansing see this as a way to make a few extra bucks, they are more likely, more inclined to go along with it. I think it's a genius move. So that is the plan. I back the plan completely, and I believe it will happen. But Tom Andrus from the Great Lakes Salmon Initiative told me on the show for this week that they are putting this on hold until after the consent decree negotiations with the tribes is complete. And I think that's a very smart idea. They don't want to muck things up or muddy the water by bringing this in and having it somehow be used in the consent decree negotiations. So they're going to put it on hold until then. Jason said the fisheries rep said there's no reason not to. Said the guide boats could run 15 rods easily. On my angler quest, I have run a dozen. Josh says he wants to run 12 by yourself. Josh, and you should be able to. Again, the resource is already protected. The rod limit will be a self-imposed rod limit based on the size of your boat, the beam of your boat, and how proficient you are as a troller. It's going to happen. Not going to happen this summer because of the consent decree negotiations, but it's going to happen. All right, Dave, appreciate you joining us. Have a good evening. As long as I'm along here talking about the show, in hour number 2, Tim Roller of Whitetail Journey talks to me about springtime turkey hunting. And then Lieutenant Scott Brown with this week's Ask Avery segment. Let me come back to this. It's about drones, and Craig Plowman, it's about your question. And then in hour number 3, Nick Percy of Michigan-based Killer Food Plots talks about food plotting season. He says, don't get antsy. He says, don't let the recent warm weather cause you to start putting seeds in the ground. He says, it's too early here in Michigan. You're asking for trouble. He says, wait a few weeks. Okay. Getting back to the Ask Avery question. And this is something that I am embarrassed about and I'm not real happy about, but it's my own fault. Last week, I sat here on Wednesday Night Live and I told you, and I said it on the radio show last week, that there are no laws in Michigan about the use of drones for hunting. And I based that on the fact I was told by a DNR representative who I've used as a resource several times, and he's never steered me wrong. So I took it at face value and I believed it. I also went to the DNR hunting guide and I couldn't find it anywhere, so I thought it must be the gospel. As I was sitting here last week spouting off that bad information, Drew Youngdyke, who was with MUCC back in 2015, said, Mike, you're wrong. In 2015, we pushed laws through in Michigan that prohibits the use of drones for hunting. I thought I better do some checking on this. So I did. In the fine print of the hunting guide, there is this wording. It is illegal to hunt or pursue wild animals or birds from a car, snowmobile, aircraft, motorboat, personal watercraft, ORV, other motorized vehicle, sailboat, or drone. So I gave out bad info last week, and I am embarrassed by it. It's on me. I didn't do the research I should have. I strive to put out accurate information the best that I can. And when I find out that I made a mistake like I did last week, I am going to be sure to correct it. And I just did. Stu says, evening, Mike, I agree with. Then the initiative becomes dollars and who can afford it and who can't in theory, but you're correct. Creel limits protect the research. Here's my thought on this, Stu. And I don't mean to be an elitist and I don't mean to sound like I'm a rich guy because I'm not. I mean, many of you watching tonight, you've got hunting property. I already told you I can't afford hunting property. So I'm not a rich guy. I say, no, Bill, you cannot. I'll come back to that. I say, Stu, that if $26 interferes with your fishing ability, you're not serious about fishing. Again, I'm not trying to be cruel, cold, or an elitist. I say if $26 impacts your ability to fish, you should buy less beer, smoke fewer cigars, or whatever. I can save $26 a week by smoking fewer cigars. So I agree with you, Stu. Okay, let's get back to Bill Hoffman. Bill says, okay, but you can use them for scouting and recovery though, right? No. In talking with Lieutenant Scott Brown today on the show, I asked him that question. He says, and I know Scott. So he said, Avery, don't start with me with the what ifs. He says the verbiage says you cannot hunt or pursue wild animals or birds, yada, yada, yada. He says, no, you can't use them for scouting. No, you can't use them for recovery. Period. End of story. I appreciate that, Stu. Okay, so following up on that, this week's Ask Avery question segment from Craig Plowman, who is on here with us right now. He says, and he sent me an email to mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com. He says, like many people, I tilled my food plots this spring and I threw some clover seeds on it. The turkeys have been hitting the food plot, eating the seeds that I spread. My question is, Craig says, if I hunt by my food plot, could I get a ticket for baiting? If the answer is yes, how far away do I need to be? Lieutenant Scott Brown answers the question. I hear you, Bill. So here's the question. Here's what Lieutenant Scott Brown says. Yes, you could get a ticket for baiting. I said, okay, if that's the case, how far away from the food plot do I have to be? Does Craig have to be? He said, it doesn't matter. There's no limit. He said, if you know the birds are coming into that food plot and eating those seeds, you cannot hunt that food plot at all, regardless of the distance. Yeah, I am on a roll tonight. I'm pumped. I'm excited. I'm also tired. I think the lieutenant took the hard line on this because I said, is that true of bird feeders too? I said, because I know a lot of people who don't hunt over bird feeders, but they know that the birds are going to bird feeders. So they hunt the travel routes on the way to people's yards to bird feeders. He said, you can't do it. It's illegal. So that's the letter of law, the letter of the law from the law. Just saying. Not if there's some kind of seed out there, Jason, according to Lieutenant Scott Brown. This isn't me saying it. Man, you guys are busting my chops tonight, aren't you? So I misspeak sometimes, especially tonight when I'm excited and tired. Brent says tough to prove. Brent would know. So would Bill. I'm just saying. And Stuart is absolutely right. It's at the discretion of the officer on the call. Most game laws are vague and leave it to the officers in the field. Tim says same thing, big gray area. Aren't birds always going to food? Bill says, we love you, big guy. I love you too, Bill. Oh, I think I'm doing pretty good for an old guy. I'm putting basically a broadcast quality program on the internet at almost 63 years old with a professional audio and everything. A lot of guys my age can't figure out email. Not yet. They're waiting for the electronics, Matt. Waiting for the Garmin. And I'm actually excited about running Garmin. I'm excited to say goodbye to Lowrance. I've had problems with Lowrance, and I'm talking the high-end units. The last two that I've had problems with. I resemble that remark. Interesting point, Tim. Tim says, just go hunt legally and you have nothing to worry about for the most part. I agree, but I made this point on the radio show, and I'm going to get back to this, right? We're going to do some giveaways, but I'm on a roll here, even if I mispronounce my words. No, I've never used LiveScope. I'll be 63 in June. Tim says, just go hunt legally and you have no worries for the most part. I agree. However, I have always said that if you spend enough time hunting or fishing, that is in the woods or on the water, you will eventually and probably unintentionally break a game law. It's going to happen. It could be something as innocuous as laying your gun up against your tailgate, which is illegal. It could be something about, I was reading your comment, Tim. It could be something about, okay, you've got your maximum number of rods out and you're reeling one in. And while you're reeling it in, your buddy puts another line out. For that few seconds, you've got too many rods in the water. You've broken the law. It's like driving. If you spend enough time behind the wheel, sooner or later, you are going to break a traffic law. You're going to speed. You're going to not come to a complete stop. You're going to forget your blinker. You're going to break a traffic law. Same thing hunting or fishing. You are unintentionally going to break a fish or game law. Now, I'm not saying that we go out to do it intentionally, because we don't. I'm not saying we go out there at midnight with a spotlight to shoot a big buck in the middle of the night. We don't, because we as hunters and anglers are law-abiding people. Stu says, Mike, I find you informative, not argumentative. Are you perfect? No, but you provide useful information with your programs. Thank you, Stuart. That's all I can ask. Robert says, I love my new Garmin. My Lowrance froze up on me over and over and heated up all the time. I had nothing but problems with my Lowrance units. Nothing but problems. I'm excited about running Garmin. Tim says, I'll read that text in a minute. Tim says, it also depends on if the officer is having a bad day. Tim, you nailed it. I grew up in a law enforcement family. My dad was a cop for 35 years. I was a VCO, a volunteer conservation officer, back when they had that program, and I worked more hours as a VCO than anybody else in the state. Many of my friends are cops and game wardens. I am pro law enforcement. I get law enforcement. I know how it works. I support law enforcement completely. But you are absolutely right. If a guy, it could be a woman as well, but if an officer has a fight with their spouse that morning as they're walking out the door, you are more likely to get yourself in trouble than if the officer kissed their spouse and gave them a hug on the way out the door. It's human nature. Kendall said he's all of his 48 years in the woods and on the water, he's never had a bad experience with a CO. I've never had a bad experience with a Michigan CO either. I have had a bad experience with an Ontario game warden. Kendall, that's nice of you to say. I appreciate that. Okay, let's talk about a couple things. Good thing you never fight with your wife, hey, Bill? Again, I can go. What's Chris saying? I can go pick up Garmin for you. Is Garmin in Kansas, Chris? Because you're in Kansas, right? Well, you know, I'm not even going to go there, Todd. I apologize. Yeah, you made it back, Johnny. Okay. Couple of things. You know, I love Michigan brand meats. This is a new honey barbecue hunter stick from Michigan brand. I like these almost as much as the peppered elk sticks, the Mike Avery sticks. These are excellent. I'm not eating them on the air because they make my mouth water and I can't talk. I think you do, Rob. So here's the deal on these. There are new stores in the west side of the state and the UP and northern Michigan, the Traverse City area, that are selling these. If you can't get them at your local store, what you can do, I'm going to show you how right now. If you go to the website, michiganbrand.net, that's michiganbrand.net, and go to their store. For example, here are the hunter sticks. Okay. There's the Mike Avery peppered elk stick, $14.99. You can get them. Listen, they are more expensive on the website. I get that. But if you can't get them locally, you can get them on the website. And here is the new honey barbecue hunter sticks. Okay. Look at the price, $14.99. If you do an add to cart and then go to your cart, give me a second here. Let it load. I did this early. Oh, I've already done it. See, I already used my promo code. What I did was I used the promo code Mike21, Mike21, and it dropped the price from $14.99 to $11.99. And I was looking at this, $19.99 to $16. So again, if you go to this website, michiganbrand.net, that's michiganbrand.net. And you at checkout, you use the promo code Mike21. You can save 20% on any Michigan brand product and they will ship it to your house. How cool is that? Yes, Mike21. If you can't get them in Ohio, if you go to michiganbrand.net and use the promo code Mike21. No space. It doesn't matter if it's uppercase or lowercase, Mike21, and you can get them for 20% off. How cool is that? And we will be eating some of these tomorrow on the boat with Lance Valentine of Walleye 101 and Nick Grillo of Michigan Brand Meats on the water. We're probably going to have to eat them to get energy for our bodies so we don't freeze. As long as we're talking about cool Michigan-based products. You know what this is, right? This is the fire kit from Speedy Blaze. It contains 4 logs and 2 Speedy sparks. Anybody can start a long-lasting, hot-burning fire with this. We're going to give away some right now. If you want to win some Speedy Blaze, if you want to win 2 fire kits like this from Speedy Blaze, make your comments right now about why you should win. Starting right now, you have 2 minutes. In the meantime, I will go to their website, which is speedyblaze.com. That's speedyblaze.com and show you a little bit more about them. Okay? There you go. speedyblaze.com. 2 minutes on why you would want to win a Speedy Blaze. Come on, make your comments here. I think you're running a little bit behind. Make your comments on why you would want to win some Speedy Blaze. You got 2 minutes. John will be the official timer tonight. All right, but you've got to mention that you want Speedy Blaze. There you go. We got some comments coming in now. Why you would like to win some Speedy Blaze. SpeedyBlaze.com. Here it is. You can win 2 of these. I burn these in the solo stove on the patio all the time. They're easy to start. They burn clean. They burn hot. You can cook over them. The fire lasts a long time. You've got 1:30 on why you want to win some Speedy Blaze from SpeedyBlaze.com. Yes, you could use it in your pellet stove. It does start fast. You want to try the Blaze? Absolutely. You'd like to win, Doug said. Order Speedy Blaze. She loved it. Excellent. 1 minute. And Garment is in Kansas. Thank you, Chris. Eric says, cold weather we're having. Amen to that. Speedy Blaze buzz action. 30 seconds on the Speedy Blaze. 30 seconds on why you would like to win some Michigan-based Speedy Blaze. 2 packages. These are mine. You can't have these. I bought these. I bought these at my local Jack's. Speedy Blaze, 30 seconds. 30 seconds on the Speedy Blaze. A lot of people say they want to buy some. Or they want to win some. 20 seconds. 20 seconds. Comes before the book of Matthew and Genesis. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. John Callison, the official timer. What was the length on that one? Nice. Brent says nice. Thank you. Nice. Some windpipes. Johnny Bowler. Ed Bolanowski says Johnny Bowler wins tonight. Look at this. 27.24. Michelle says 27.23. I'll take the 27.24. That is, ladies and gentlemen, a new world record here on Wednesday Night Live. 27 plus seconds. For a buzzer here on Wednesday Night Live. I can say, Jerry says, now it's Maker's Mark time. You know what? I'm going to need a stogie. I'm going to go out and I have plans for after the show. Johnny Bowler. Look at that. Ed Bolanowski of Speedy Blaze picked Johnny Bowler as our winner. Johnny, congrats, my friend. You got your wish tonight. Johnny, I have your address, but make it easy on me, will you? Send me your address or send it directly to Ed Bolanowski of Speedy Blaze, and we'll get some off to you. Johnny Bowler, my bear hunting guide. He's going to be my whitetail guide this fall if I don't get a bear tag, and he's going to be hunting with us in Ohio as well. How cool is that? 20 seconds. Oh, Jason gave me a 30 seconds. Where'd you go? Jason gave me a 30 seconds. Jason, I'd like to take the 30 seconds, but I already named John as the official scorer. But listen, if you're going to pad it by 3 seconds, you can be the scorer next week. I am tired, but I did a pretty good job, didn't I? Brent says, congrats, Johnny. Brent will be down there with us in Ohio, Johnny, so you and Brent will have a chance to meet each other if you haven't already. Yeah, you better go play the lotto tonight, Johnny. Well, excellent. Johnny, I'm happy for you. Ed Bolanowski of Speedy Blaze, thank you for giving that away. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you for the generosity of my friends from Michigan Brand Meats as well. Okay, I'm not going to go a full 45 minutes tonight because I am dragging, and I got a lot to do. Where in Ohio are we going to be hunting? We're going to be hunting with Bill Piles of Ohio Bow Hunting Outfitters, and we've had a few people drop out, and before I was done with Wednesday Night Live, those spots were filled already. Oh, you're Facebook friends with him. Excellent. Thank you. 62 years old, not 63 yet. I appreciate you noticing that. Frosty Guinness and a stogie. Amen to that, brother Mike. If I could still, when I can drink beer, and I can't drink much, I had weight loss surgery, so I can't drink anything carbonated still. And I can't drink, the only beer I can drink is a real dark, creamy, rich stout. And I love Guinness. And I can drink about a half of a Guinness, and that's it. But I can drink Maker's Mark in my Crystal Light. Richard's 66 years old. You're an old man, Richard. No, we're not going to be running hand lines tomorrow, Linda says, on the Detroit River. We're going to be jigging with Lance Valentine of Walleye 101. We're going to be using lead head jigs tipped with plastic, not with minnows. I think he's running very heavy jigs. I think 3/4 ounce jigs. It'll be fun. I know that, Craig. That was excellent. It'll be fun because I have not jigged the Detroit River in a while. I mean, a long time. I wish it was going to be one of those warm, calm days, but it looks like it's going to be a cold and windy day, but we'll make the most of it because we'll be eating these and the Mike Avery Hunter Sticks. Are minnows allowed on the Angler Quest? Yes, if you're perch fishing. And you guys are joking. The heated vest, that's what I'll take tomorrow. Thank you, Craig. In fact, I got him charging right now. Thank you. Thank you for that reminder, Brother Craig. I will take my heated vest. Are minnows allowed? Yes, they are for perch fishing. And I know why you bring it up because you think I'm not a crawler guy. And I'm not. I'm not anti-night crawler. People, and I've actually had people say this, Avery, you're an elitist. I get that a lot. Why do you talk bad about crawlers? Are you too good to run night crawlers? No, I'm too smart. And I'll leave it at that, and I'll let you think about that for a while. What time will be on the river? We're doing an afternoon trip, Mike. We're meeting Lance at 4:00. Well, about 3:45. I love the nitro beers. Absolutely, Paul. I love the nitro beers. Whenever I have a chance to get a nitro beer, that's what I go for. Our charter is like 4 to 7, 4 to 8. I think probably a couple of hours tomorrow. I know you are, John. I know it. I think probably a couple of hours tomorrow will be good enough with the weather conditions the way they should be or are supposed to be. And I'm not that hardcore anymore. You guys who are on here now who have fished with me in the summertime on the Angler Quest know I'm not that hardcore anymore. Matt says, perfect. I can get there in 3 hours. I am concerned, though, about this weekend. I honestly don't know at this point. Will I be in the woods Saturday morning? Yeah, I will. Hey, Jim Boot will be fishing with me on Saginaw Bay this summer. He was one of our high bidders along with Martin Schindel. Thank you, Jim. Appreciate that. Be sure to go live tomorrow. You think? Okay, let me ask you this. As long as Mike brought it up and somebody else did as well. Maybe it was you, Mike, twice. Should we go live tomorrow afternoon from the Detroit River with Nick Grillo and Lance Valentine? Keep in mind, the conditions are going to be for crap. It's going to be windy and cold. But if you will bear with those conditions and the wind noise, should we go live tomorrow? Yes? No. John says yes. Craig says yes. Jim says yes. Jerry says thumbs up. Ed says thumbs up. So it looks like Matt says that would be awesome. Everybody's saying yes. All right, so I will. We will go live. I wasn't actually thinking about this, but it's a great idea. Thank you for reminding me. So, Jared, what's she watching? HGTV? That's what gets played around this house. I can't stand HGTV. What's the one couple? I know they're good Christian people. I know they're excellent people. I know they're outstanding business people. Joe and Chip. If I have to look at Joe and Chip again, I'm gonna pull my hair out. Wait, I already did. I must have watched them too much already. And I did watch them too much already. They're great people. Yes, if your fingers aren't frozen. Okay, so we will go live tomorrow. I don't know Chip and JoJo. Yes. I like I said, I know they're wonderful people. I don't want to watch any more home improvement or home decorating shows. I just don't care. I just don't care. And I don't want to watch hunting and fishing shows either. When I watch TV, I want to watch something that takes me away from whatever I'm doing. A good drama, a good mystery, something sci-fi. Just I want an escape. All right, my friends. We will go live tomorrow then. I appreciate the suggestion. I don't know what time. I'll wait till we're out on the water, till we see if we're getting fish, till we can get out of the wind. But look for me. I will go live tomorrow along with Nick and Lance on the Detroit River. Anthony, I don't know. Somebody says, what time frame? I don't know. Our trip starts at 4 and it'll run 2 or 3 hours. So I don't know. Doug's going out of Linwood tomorrow. Good luck to you. All right, my friends. Congrats to Johnny Bowler for winning Speedy Blaze. Check out the new honey barbecue hunter sticks from Michigan Brand. Go to the website, michiganbrand.net. Use the promo code Mike21. Save 20%. SpeedyBlaze.com. Don't forget other promo codes. You can save 25% on your MUCC membership. Go to mucc.org. Use the promo code Mike, all caps. And if you want to buy one of those new Wraith 270 see-through primal blinds from Primal, see-through Wraith blinds from Primal, go to outdoorpregame.com, outdoorpregame.com. Use the promo code Mike20. All right, my friends, that's going to wrap up this edition of Wednesday Night Live. Thank you for joining me. Have a great night. And it looks like I'll be talking to you live tomorrow from the Detroit River. Don't know what time, but I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll try to post something that I'll be going live coming up. Like when I know we're going to go live, I'll post something 10 or 15 minutes ahead of time to give you a heads up, okay? All right, my friends, have a good night. Thanks for joining me on this edition of Wednesday Night Live.